Court adjourns Nnamdi Kanu's trial indefinitely. The 10th of February, 2025. Nnamdi Kanu. IPOB leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Kindly share this video, subscribe, like, and comment below. Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has indefinitely adjourned the trial of Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra. The decision, made on Monday, follows Kanu's insistence that Nyako cannot preside over his case, citing her previous recusal. Punch Online had earlier reported that Kanu had been ordered to appear for a hearing on Monday, February 10, 2025, before Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court, Abuja. Earlier in January, Kanu filed a petition against Justice Nyako before the National Judicial Council, accusing her of judicial misconduct in handling his trial. And days later, the IPOB leader called for his case to be transferred to the southeast if no judge, at the Federal High Court in Abuja, was willing to preside over it apart from Justice Binta Nyako. Court proceedings begin. At the commencement of proceedings, prosecuting lawyer, Adegboyega San, stated that the prosecution had filed and served all necessary documents, and was ready to proceed with the trial. Responding, defense lawyer, Aloy Ejimeka, said the issue before the court was not about proceeding with the trial. Judge's recusal. At that point, Justice Nyako intervened, explaining that although she had earlier recused herself from the case, the court's chief judge turned down her decision to withdraw. She directed that the defendant file a formal motion requesting the reassignment of the case to another judge. While Awomolo and Ejimeka were debating whether a formal motion was necessary, as directed by the chief judge, Kanu, who had been sitting quietly in the dock, suddenly interjected and demanded to be allowed to speak. Kanu seeks to represent self. When asked by Justice Nyako whether he intended to take over the conduct of his case from his lawyer, Kanu responded, "Yes, I want to take over." The defendant proceeded to state that he only agreed to attend court out of respect for the judiciary. He argued that Justice Nyako no longer had jurisdiction over his trial, as she had previously recused herself in September of the previous year. Exchange between Kanu, prosecutor. Turning to the prosecuting lawyer, Kanu insulted him, saying, "A grown-up man like you, who should be in the village, and who should be making sure that things are done properly, is here subverting the law." He then addressed the judge. "I don't recognize the authority of this court to preside over my case. Everything you, the judge, said here is meaningless to me. Why is it that when it comes to my case, everything is turned upside down?" Kanu further argued that the memo sent by the chief judge, returning the case file to Justice Nyako, could not override the enrolled order made on September 24, when she initially recused herself. When Justice Nyako informed him that he was at liberty to appeal the chief judge's directive, Kanu responded, "If the chief judge disagrees, he should appeal the decision." Kanu rejects judge's authority. Continuing his remarks, Kanu asserted, "You cannot preside over this case, not now, not today, not ever. You stand recused and you must leave my case. I don't need you in my case. You are biased. Tell the chief judge that Nnamdi Kanu said so." He further declared, "This is not a court of law. This is a shrine to injustice, and I will not subject myself to it." Prosecution requests trial date. In his submission, Awomolo urged the court to fix a trial date, stating, "In view of the fact that the defendant has indicated that he will not make a formal application, I apply that your lordship gives us a definite date for trial." Before the prosecuting lawyer could conclude, Kanu interjected again, "Because of money they are paying you from the AGF's office. A grown-up man like you is here supporting evil. The rule of law says you should go on appeal." He further criticized the chief judge's actions, the same chief judge, writing this stupid memo, "I have recused him before." He sat on appeal. I took him to NJC and recused him. Why is he insisting on this one? He wants to embarrass your lordship by asking her to sit on this case. Judge adjourns. In her ruling, Justice Nyako stated, "The only decision I can make right now is that in the light of what is happening now in court, I am going to adjourn this case signed die indefinitely." Reacting to the judge's pronouncement, Kanu said, "You have no jurisdiction to adjourn anything. None whatsoever. You cannot make an order without jurisdiction. The memo from the Chief Judge cannot confer jurisdiction upon you." Share this video, like, comment, and subscribe for more of our videos coming up.
Justice is often a long and winding road, and for Nnamdi Kanu, the embattled leader of the proscribed Indigenous People of Biafra (IPOB), the journey has taken yet another turn. A federal high court in Abuja has adjourned his trial indefinitely after Kanu and his counsel, Mazi Nnamdi, argued that the presiding judge, Justice Binta Nyako, no longer had the jurisdiction to handle the case following an earlier recusal. Now, despite this, the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice John Soko, reassigned the case back to Nyako, insisting that a formal application must be filed before her recusal can be acknowledged. As legal wrangling continues, Kanu's fate remains suspended in uncertainty, further prolonging a case that has gripped the nation for years. BKO Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal adjourning this case indefinitely. What does this mean?
You know, I think the Justice Binta Nyako at some point got fed up and decided that she was going to recuse herself. He got tired of Nnamdi Kanu's antics. And she said, "Look, I'm no longer going to handle this matter." But what today we read a news item earlier that Kanu had been told to show up in court unfailingly today. And when Kanu showed up in court, he was told that indeed the matter, the Chief Judge had refused to reassign the case to another person. Okay. The Chief Judge, after Justice Binta Nyako said she was recusing herself, the Chief Judge declined to allow her to go. The Chief Judge ruled that she must continue the matter. Now, that is what Kanu then flared up, because as far as Kanu is concerned, the judge is biased. The judge has not handled his matter very well. You can see clearly that Kanu has lost it here. He's very angry.
Yes.
He wants the case reassigned to someone else. And he's saying, if we cannot find any judge in the FCT to handle my matter, then send it to the Southeast. Send my matter to the Southeast, and the matter will be addressed. I think that Kanu felt that at this stage, a political solution will have been found to this matter. You know,
that's the game plan.
Yes, he wanted, and he said, "Look, I'm prepared. Even if you put me under house arrest, I'm happy." He said that at the time. And he said whatever decision, he also reached out through the federal attorney handling the matter, that he would like an out-of-court settlement. Okay. Nothing has happened on that. So despite the effort that is made to get his matter sorted out of court, he can see that there is no movement along that line. Okay. That can frustrate any man who has been in detention for about going to 3 years or so now. Yes, yes, 3 years. So I think since 2021 he's been there. So it's more than 3 years already going to. So any man will be frustrated. But I think it was wrong of him to be abusing the chief judge of the Federal High Court and the presiding judge in the way he has done. Look at what he said. He said, you cannot preside over this case, not now, not today, not ever. You stand recused, as you must leave, and you must leave my case. I don't need you in my case. You are biased. Tell the chief judge that Nnamdi Kanu says so. This is not a court of law. This is a shrine to injustice, and I will not subject myself to it. You know, the judge tried to say, look, I am going to, the order that I'm going to make right now is an indefinite adjournment, since the chief judge of the High Court, Federal High Court, had not agreed to
Accept
agreed to
the recusal.
Yes, and then assigning the matter to another person. Now the Kanu said, you have no jurisdiction to adjourn, none whatsoever. You cannot make an order without jurisdiction. So as far as Nnamdi Kanu is concerned, by recusing herself at the time she did, she had lost any link, any right to continue to preside over that matter. And he said, look, I will not allow you to continue to handle my case. So it's like Kanu is trying to force the hand of the judiciary to give him another judge. And I guess they are sensing that it may be difficult for them to find a judge who will agree.
But was the chief judge wrong by not giving,
because sometimes
another judge on this case, since there is a recusal?
I think it's especially when Nnamdi Kanu himself does not want, and his lawyers do not want to continue with this judge. I think the best thing is to
give it to another.
Give it to another.
I've seen during the trial of Al-Mustafa.
Okay.
There was something that the judge said.
He made a similar thing.
There was something that the judge said that they said, no, we have lost confidence in you. This and the judge had to leave the matter. You know, so this happens from time to time, and you need the accused person to have belief that you will get justice in your court. Otherwise, you cannot force them. Other judges get another judge to handle the matter.
Nnamdi Kanu said he's alleging that the courts have been biased. The judge has been biased against him. But what are your thoughts here? And also, is there still room for a political solution on this Nnamdi Kanu issue?
There's always room for a political solution. We know somebody that was sentenced to death here in Lagos, a famous kidnapper that is still going to school, that is still getting a degree, sentenced to death, which is something that will not happen in any other country in the world. So there's always room for political solution. And you and I know that we know a case of a man who was sent to jail, and they recalled the case for technical reasons, and the man is now a senator. So when it comes to political solution, it can always happen. But in this case, in the case of Nnamdi Kanu, there are 3 levels that everybody's being careful of.
Okay.
I'm sure the chief judge must have told 1 or 2 judges, I'll give you this case, and they declined.
Oh.
Because of the high profile nature of the case. Because this is a case that even if you win, you lose.
What do you mean by that? Even if you
win legally.
Yes.
But you lose in the court of supporters of Nnamdi Kanu.
Oh.
And these people are not the easier going people that we know. So sometimes you just have to bite the bullets and give it to a judge who doesn't care. And I think this something that they've just done is basically to give the chief judge enough time so that they can get somebody.
The chief judge was saying that they needed to apply formally
through the woman.
Okay, through the
it must go back to her.
Okay.
They apply formally, and they will now get it. Or now maybe the schedule or the post or whatever they do.
He told the defendant to file a formal request for the matter to be reassigned.
I guess that's how the rule should go. That's
the way I've always seen it. That's the way.
But Nnamdi Kanu, as you know, is basically going to say what he said, and I may be wrong. I'm sure.
I think it was gentlemanly at some point, but
he's getting frustrated.
the pressure is really getting to him because he must have felt that, given the request that he made for out of court settlement, given the remarks that he made in an open court the other day, that he will be that if he's out of detention, that the insecurity in the southeast will stop. He must have felt all of that should have swayed
exactly
the prosecution to say, look, let's consider resolving this matter out of court. But you can see they are not thinking about that.
But,
still want to keep him
on a final note, because we are pressed for time, is there still room? Do you still have hope that there could still be some sort of political solution to it? Or you think...
I've always said that I wanted a political solution.
You want a political solution?
Yes, I've been consistent for the past 3 years on that, whether on issues with Jide, my YouTube program, or on journalists and that. I've always said that I believed a political solution was possible. But that's me talking. I know there are many people who have told me that, look, what are you talking about? If somebody wanted to set Nigeria ablaze and all that. And I have examples that I can cite as a historian and as a journalist of record, where even murderers were pardoned and where political solution was found. You know, I always cite even the example of Buthelezi and his people who are killing ANC members. They used to slash each other's throats. Then there was power sharing. Buthelezi became deputy.
Second deputy prime minister.
One of the two deputies.
Okay.
And the killing stopped.
And
black on black violence. Black on black violence in South Africa was extremely shameful. You see, in broad daylight, people will grab you.
They have a name for the machete they are using. I've forgotten the name.
But the whole thing stopped once.
Immediately, the political solution.
Yes, once the Unkata leader, once he was accommodated in the power league. So this thing, but I don't think Kanu has helped his own cause by the kind of comments. He even described the president of the Federal High Court as a stupid judge. You know, the insult today, he abused Awomolo too. The lawyer, the government lawyer, abused that at your age, because of the money you are collecting from the AGF.
Serious.
You are supporting injustice. You know, I think that if you want attitude to change about you have to calm down.
Exactly.
Give them a chance to consider.
All right then. Thank you so much. GKB, it's so nice to have you back.
Yeah, it's nice to be back in Nigeria.
And also...
It's more bearded now. It's more bearded now.
Exactly. We are back home.
All right then, Team Captain.
Thanks for tuning in to Smart Okason TV show. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share to keep the intellect flowing.